My newest favorite karaoke song is Randy Newman, Rednecks. I don't think I'm allowed to sing that at karaoke, Todd.
You should try. You should try.
I will not. I'll go down to the Nut Hut.
No, go to go up North Philly real quick.
Perfect. North Philly and sing that?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Post show.
See how that works out.
That's sitting on the table. Hey, let's get started. We got a big show.
We do. It's been a while.
Really big shoe.
Jared Polin, FroKnowsPhoto.com, and welcome to RAWtalk episode 227. Last week, 2 weeks ago, was 226, which included the interview of Douglas Kirkland, along with his wife Francoise.
We got corrected.
You have to say Francoise. Well, Maddie, the girlfriend girl, she was like, "No, it's Francois." I'm like, "No, it's not."
No,
That's
it's
what my girlfriend said too.
Francois.
I'm like, "No, it's Francoise."
Yeah, he corrected us saying that Francois was
It's a hard
name.
S. It's
Francoise
Francoise.
was a girl's name.
But that was a very interesting interview.
Yeah.
I saw we read a lot of comments. There were obviously people that are like, she talked too much. And the truth of the matter is she it's not that she talked too much. She's been there for 50 years with him. So she knows a lot of the stories.
She knows all the stories.
And, you have to take into consideration that he's also 83 and he's done quite a bit and needs some help every once in a while.
It seemed like she was kind of helping him recollect.
She was.
Yes.
For sure.
My
Their
wife
house,
does that as well.
Also,
I don't remember anything.
Beautiful LA home.
Hollywood Hills, Stephen.
Hollywood Hills.
That would be the Hollywood Hills.
It's not
Hollywood
LA,
Hills.
it's
Excuse
Hollywood
me.
Hills.
We took a car up into the hills.
Yeah. Which traffic coming down is a nightmare.
It actually wasn't that bad when we came
remember
down.
when we were going up?
Yeah, when we were going up, the traffic was pretty
Yeah.
bad coming down with all the Teslas. Because we were going up around 9:30, so 9:30... No, we were going up around 10 o'clock, so all of the people in L.A. going to work on time at 10.
Yeah, 10 o'clock.
To get in at 11 to leave
by
at 2.
2.
And then, that's L.A. for
It's the life
you.
I want.
So that was, L.A. was good, right?
You went back and forth to LA actually a couple times.
Well, I have to go
The
to
past
L.A. on
month.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
Again.
So important. You're so important.
Yeah.
It was fun, though. I mean, we did it a lot.
You guys
in
are
2
like
days.
the entourage, but less cooler.
We had an entourage, though. We did. We had nobody.
Exactly.
No, it was... Why don't we start there with updating everybody on what we did while we were out there?
Sure.
So the whole point was... why was I out there?
Funny
this
or
time?
Die was the main
right.
point.
Funny or Die,
Yeah.
right? So part of one of my personal projects, one of the 2 times ago when I was in LA, I think it was March for a YouTube event, I met this guy Brad Jenkins who works at Funny or Die and formerly was at the Obama White House doing social video
Yes.
and things
thanks,
like that.
Obama.
And I met him and he was on stage talking and he's like, "Here's my number if anybody needs something." And so I texted him
His actual number.
right from sitting there.
And
I'm
Jared's like,
While he's telling
Jared, I'm still on stage. I'm still on stage.
he just finished the last digit, Jared's still calling him.
I texted him while he was still on stage
Oh, yeah.
about spending a day doing a photo, a story in the day in the life of
Yeah.
Funny or Die.
what are you wearing?
And so when I actually had dinner with he and a bunch of other people, which was great because I was walking by when they were at the restaurant and they're like, "Join us." And so they...
Stalker.
He was like, "You were the only one who called or sent a message." I'm like, "Yeah, why wouldn't I? You said send a message." So I'm sending a freaking message. He's like, "I'm like, you want to shoot tomorrow?" He's like, "Yeah, come to the office. Let's do some stuff."
That's great.
So I did.
Yep.
Louie Anderson was in the office. So I spent all day in the office. What else was I going to do? I had an extra day.
Exactly.
I went to the office, did candid photos of the CEO. I
And you
did
got to
candid
see
photos.
their entire studio set up, too.
That's
yeah,
great.
ours
Which
is
is
nicer.
interesting.
Well, our studio is. We have a nice studio. They have
We try.
They have a black room.
Yeah.
Mostly.
Whoa.
And then there's speaking of, there was Oprah's Phantom Rolls Royce sitting outside in
What?
the Oprah parking spot because they share with Harpo, I guess.
Wow.
Ballin'! It was the Phantom was beautiful. But so I was there and I did all these shoots and then Louie Anderson came in, so I'd spent time doing candids with Louie Anderson. And
Very
then
cool.
when I got home, I sent them a bunch of photo books. I sent the CEO a bunch of I sent like 3 9x12 photo books, a bunch of 6x8 smaller ones. I sent a bunch of metal prints, 24 by 36s.
Ooh, that's a lot of stuff.
Well, they have a big office.
Yeah.
And so I sent it to them. I'm not looking for anything. But then what happened is Brad was like, hey, we got this 10-year anniversary coming up in April, which didn't end up happening in April. He's like, maybe you could come out and do it. So anyway, get the call last week or a couple weeks ago.
I thought the CEO guy really liked the book you did.
The
or something.
CEO loved the book.
Yeah, and then he was like, get this guy or something.
Yeah,
like
the
that.
CEO was like, can we get this guy?
Yeah.
Actually, no, that's what the assistant to the CEO said. He's like, you know that guy? He's like, who gave us these books? Can't we get him to do the party?
The clown-looking motherfucker. Get him.
The what?
What?
The what looking mother?
Clown.
Oh, the clown guy. Yeah. So he's like, get that guy who was, in his clown shoes. And so they called, and they didn't realize I was in Philly.
Yeah.
The woman that we spoke to.
Probably just thought you lived in LA.
Yeah, they thought I was in LA. And I'm like, no, I'm coming in from Philly. She's like, is there enough in the budget for you to do that? I'm like, I've got other things to do while I'm out there. This is
really
a great
worked out.
opportunity for me to use that money.
Do you know who I am? Money is no object.
She's like, how much do you have? Or what will it cost? I'm like, well, in all honesty, if you throw a good number at me, we're going to make it work.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not looking not to do this because it benefits me to come out and
Right.
do. I was straight up totally transparent. I'm like, I'll use the money to purchase my flights, pay for the Airbnb, and I talked about bringing Steven because Steven did the grip and grin stuff. Really good stuff.
I shot all the event photos, and Jared did more of the portrait type.
I told them I wanted to do a
photo booth.
photo booth, but not one of those funny photo booths.
It was a very classy booth.
Right. So I got lights from KinoFlow, 3 Diva lights, which are freaking incredible.
worked out perfect, yeah.
Set up the triangle of light. And then everybody that came through that actually wanted to get their portrait taken got a tight headshot with the 10514, and it looked fantastic. The whole idea I said to them is I thought that there would be a great opportunity to take portraits of all the employees, that they could either hang it on the wall or do some kind of photo book thing. And so I'm like, this is what I want to do. I don't want to do the grip and grin. I don't want to run around, but I will bring Steven. And she's like, is there enough room in the budget? I'm like, just add an extra couple $100. They did. They came back to me with the price. I'm like, squeeze in another $500 and we'll make it work.
Yeah.
And I was going to make it work even if she said no. I'm just like, if you can do, I said to her, if you can get an extra 500, that's great. I'm going to do it anyway, just letting you know. But if you could squeeze in more, it would make it a little better. And so they did. And so it's a good amount of money to do the work that we did.
Yeah. It was still overwhelming for me, though, the amount of coverage I had to do by myself.
But you realize that at the end, all they really wanted was 30 pictures.
Will Ferrell.
So
that's really all they wanted.
That's all that matters.
There wasn't much to really worry about.
But in the beginning, Jared and I go into this, I'm like, all right, it's probably like a wedding, like 200-300 people. It's about the same size as a normal wedding venue. Shouldn't be too bad. We get there and they're like, yeah, there's 2,000 people on the RSVP list that we sent out invitations to. And
I don't think 2,000 ever showed up.
No, but they did say about 1,200 showed up in the end.
Wow.
And this place is 4 floors.
Yeah.
So I'm like kind of freaking out because I'm the only one actually running around taking all those pictures. And they give me this list of all these celebrities, these A-list celebrities. Yeah, basically. And there's 50 of them that RSVP that are definitely coming.
Yeah,
apparently.
definitely coming.
So all you gotta do is get 50 pictures then.
Well,
No, they didn't show
kind
up.
of. But so
Lena Dunham did, but she didn't come through the front door.
Was she naked though? Was she naked?
Yeah, she walks around just like that.
So I have this big list to do. They tell me all these people are coming. Basically, all they want is just pictures of the celebrities for the most part, and then just general candid photos throughout the entire event. So I go, I'm taking all these photos. Only like 3 or 4 of the actual celebrities on that list showed up.
Pauly Shore wasn't even on that
Pauly
list.
Shore wasn't on there, and he showed up.
He doesn't need to be. He
Oh,
doesn't need
dude,
to RSVP.
they
He can
actually-
just show up anytime he wants.
Well, that's because he just
crashed
did.
the VIP tent, the whole
'cause
like
he's
party
the weasel.
upstairs.
He's the weasel and he goes where he wants.
Well, that's because he just did that Trump guy.
Oh. I forgot, yeah.
But the
Yeah.
biggest thing they wanted that night was a giant group photo of the employees,
Yeah.
which was fine. I was like,
Yeah.
all right, I'll bring my speed lights,
a piece of cake.
as much run and gun stuff as I
Yeah.
can get. Set up my speed lights. They wanted it to be on the first floor in like the lobby area, and then I was on the second floor, and I was
Shoot
going to
down.
look down
Sure.
so I could see
Yeah.
everyone's face.
Good setup.
It was a great setup.
And we all agreed on that.
Tested everything. They agreed on it. They're like, all right, we'll bring everyone in here at this time. We'll make an announcement. It'll be great. So Jared's in the other lobby where you actually walk in at, and I'm waiting for the picture. It's like 8:30,
And my booth, everything's filling up. I'm like, why are there so many people here?
all
This
these
isn't
people
where
are
the
filling
photo
up
is.
near Jared's lobby area, and I'm getting text by the girl who was in charge, and she's like, "Where are you?" I'm like, "I'm in position. I'm ready to go." I realize said she's downstairs. I go downstairs to meet her because I didn't know what was going on, and she's like, I come downstairs, and the entire room is filled with all the employees, and I'm set up in the other room, and I'm freaking out.
How
at this point.
far away is this
There's
other
like
room?
200 people. It's
Well,
not
it
just
was
like 10
upsta-
employees.
It was just up 6 stairs.
Yeah,
All right,
so
so
they
what
just had to
happened?
go in the other room. So basically what happened is at first she wanted me to just take the picture there, and the lighting was literally non-existent.
Dog
It wasn't
shit.
a good angle.
Yeah.
And the angle was terrible. I'd be shooting more straight on. If people were smaller, I wouldn't
Yeah,
get them in
yeah,
the frame.
yeah.
So we switched the other room. Took about 20 minutes to finally get everyone back in there. The picture worked out.
Great.
But I'm trying to communicate with her, like screaming, like, "Are you guys ready? Is this everyone?" And I can't hear anything.
Oh, yeah.
But in the end, it worked out.
Yeah.
We took
Good.
the photos.
So-
I got pictures of Will Ferrell that night. That worked out great.
Name dropper.
The light though, terrible in the entire venue. It was like candlelit.
Of course.
but that's a nightclub.
Of course.
Of course, but I'm just saying they wanted this celebrity list, and I couldn't even see anyone in
Well,
the
that's
actual
what celebrities
place.
do. They keep the lights dim.
Yeah.
When
But,
I hang out, when me and the Weasel hang out, we like
I
to
think
keep
they
the
were very
lights
happy
low.
though with all the
They were
keeper
very-
photos.
they were
in the
really
end
happy
with
with
what
everything.
Jared got.
I'm
I got all
sure.
that.
They were really happy. They wanted everything turned around. We sent them
Oh,
selects
I
in the morning.
sent them selects by like 9 a.m. the next morning. So
That's awesome.
And then
Yeah.
I sent my stuff when I got home because the headshots weren't as important. I want to say something about RAWtalk. This is the form that RAWtalk takes. It's a bunch of guys and people talking, and occasionally we do interviews, and we talk about some photo stuff. This is the kind of direction that I think I like for this. It's us talking about what we do.
Well, I like talking about our actual photo shoots.
Kind of
too.
what I like
Our
listening
jobs.
to when I listen to stuff as well.
Yeah, the behind the scenes stuff.
So we did the Funny or Die thing, but earlier in the day, I did part of my photo story project with Douglas Kirkland. So I was supposed to photograph him Tuesday.
Yeah.
And Steven was coming in Tuesday afternoon, but they ended up moving and saying, "Well, can we do the interview and the photo shoot on Wednesday?" And I was like,
That was the
"Ooh."
night of the party too that we had to shoot, and then the
wow.
party went on until 2 a.m. Keep in mind.
Of course.
Yeah,
it is.
so then we got there, and I was able to get some. I really love the shots that I got. We can run some, Dan.
The
right
Kirkland
here.
ones, yeah.
The Kirkland stuff turned out well. I didn't need like a full day, but I think I got a great photo story.
We still had like 3 hours, I'd say, maybe even longer.
There was a good amount of time,
Yeah.
good amount of candidates. He posed. He knew what he was doing.
So I was basically setting up the interview while Jared was photographing. It worked out perfectly, actually.
Nice.
We did that interview. After that, we packed up. We got back down the hill, packed our bags, then loaded up
straight.
took 45 minutes for a 15-minute drive because it was later. But
Great
we got to
LA
where
traffic.
we were going. We took care of what we needed to do. And then
Packed day, stacked day for sure.
well, then Thursday, I had the big project. I had part of my personal project. I was photographing this guy, Stefan Macchio, who wrote Wrecking Ball, a ton of stuff with a lot of Canadian artists, The Weeknd,
Story.
and
What's he considered? A producer, an engineer?
no,
little bit
he's
of both?
he's a producer, songwriter,
Gotcha.
and musician.
Little everything.
Because he has piano music out into the world too.
Okay.
He has his own career as a musician, but he also is a writer, producer. And so I spent all day with him in the studio.
Beautiful
And there
studio.
were 2 different writing sessions that went on. One in the morning, and then later at night there was another one with this guy Hudson Thames. If you remember Sing Street, I didn't realize he sings the main song in Sing Street.
Oh, yeah.
It's very 80s sounding because that's what that movie was.
Yep.
And so he did Sing Street, that, and they were writing some awesome song at night, and I got some great candids of it.
And you went back the next day, right?
Well, I ended up going back the next day because he's like, well, I scheduled another writing session just in case you wanted to come in, and that one was with Mozella, who co-wrote Wrecking Ball with him and Miley, and then she's done a bunch of other songs, and James Blunt was coming in. So what was great is that you don't normally sit in on writing sessions ever.
Yeah.
It's like a rare thing where artists let you do that,
They
especially
probably need
people
to be
that
in
don't know
a
you.
certain mindset and by themselves. And
And they didn't know me, but Stefan was like, Jared's coming in. He's great. He does his things. Boom. And they're like, yeah, sure, no problem. So I'm just doing candids. There's not much to shoot. So when I'm not shooting, I'm out of the room. I don't want to just be sitting there.
Yeah.
So I'm bothering them. And she actually said at the end of the day that she's like, I've kicked many photographers out of writing sessions because they just don't know they don't know what they're doing. She's like, I had no problem with what you did today.
I was more curious if your D5, the shutter sound alone would be very distracting.
Well, when they
'cause
they had to
it's
shut
like
the
a
door.
tank.
It is. That's where the A9 will come in handy.
Yeah.
Or when we talk about the D850.
Well, and when you're obviously they're recording sessions, so you can't really be like
No,
right next to them.
But they can shut the doors in the recording
You were
studios.
shooting through glass
Then
then?
you're through glass. But in the future, if I had an A9 setup for something like this with the 12 to 24 and the 24 to 70, and the Trinity, I could switch over to that for when I need to be silent.
Speaking of lenses, what was your setup for this? Like the 105 mainly?
Well,
a little everything?
It's the grab and go. I have 4 lenses with me. I don't even take the fisheye, which I should take every once in a while. But 14 to 24, 24 to 70, 70 to 200, 105, 1.4.
All Nikon.
That's all the grab and go bag.
Yeah, that's perfect.
I would
That
love
really
the 300 f4, but I had no need for a 300 f4.
Not in that studio.
Or in any case. So anyway, what ended up happening is with James Blunt, my goal, and I was telling people the day before I even met him, that I'm going to end up on stage with James Blunt at his show tomorrow. There was no opportunity to even ask him to really, because they were working the whole time. And after, when we go outside, we did a group picture of the 3 of them that they wanted. Then James gets into the car that's taking him back to the Staples Center because he's opening for Ed Sheeran. And before Stefan closes the door, I go, let me ask him. I go, James, could I leave with you right now to go do candid photos with you for the rest of the night? And he was like, I don't know. But he's like, I'm going to check with the manager.
Yeah.
And I'll let you know. And I got that, but I needed to ask something.
Sure.
So he drives. 5 minutes later, text comes to Stefan. He's like, here's the number for Jared to call the tour manager. Everything will be taken care of. We'll get him backstage. We'll do what we need to do. The problem is it's LA. This was 4:45 on a Friday. I had to get to the Staples Center, which is only like 9 miles away.
Which means it took you 3 hours to get there.
Hour 15. I had to be there at 6:30. Got there at 6:18. Left at 5. The driver and the Uber. It's like an $8 Uber, by the way. I felt bad. I gave the guy a $10 tip
I
in
thought
the Uber app.
They still charge for time though, mixed in with mileage. That's what I was told when I got picked up by an Uber. I asked them, and they're like, "Yeah, it's still."
I also think I had a half off thing that Uber's been running, so I gave the guy, like a $10 tip because it was
right.
Well, he probably still gets
thing.
paid the full price. Uber probably takes.
I think
hit,
so.
Right?
He still gets the full price, but I wanted to give him more because I saved the money. I'm going to give him more.
Yeah.
Because he was great. We took all back roads. We didn't even get on the highway. We took Ventura Boulevard for like 5 miles. Got us right there. I called the guy at 6:18 or 6:20. Walked up to the top, gave me my stickers, walked me right into the dressing room, and I started. James was like, "Hey."
All out of just asking a question.
Well, asking the question, but also being, doing these personal projects and meeting the right people.
Networking.
And
Yeah.
the networking
Always
is the biggest
key.
thing that you can do.
And you're not doing it necessarily for a paycheck. Like, you're doing it as an opportunity. You're creating these opportunities by, taking advantage of, like, okay, they're not going to pay you that much money at Funny or Die, but you're going to take it anyways because it's an opportunity.
But at first, it was more just him photographing Funny or Die people, the employees, and all of that, and then it turned into a paying gig.
It turned into a
later.
paying gig,
Yeah.
and one of the other degrees of what I've done turned into a cover photo for Lewis Howes's latest book. If you look up The Mask of Masculinity, and then Stefan loves these photos, and he's on a TV show in Canada right now, a music show. He's like, they need new production photos for me. Can we use these? And all I said is, if they want to use it and they have a budget, then get me paid. If not, so be it.
It's also got to be refreshing for you to not have to really perform on camera to me, and also trying to concentrate into an actual photo shoot.
Well, yeah, that's
got to
other
be
part.
a lot easier.
Well, it is easier but you remember that I delayed this new project because I was like, I want Steven to be there.
'Cause you wanted me to
I want Steven to do the video.
Yeah.
I wanted to turn this into something, but it would have never gotten started.
Yeah.
And if I didn't just
It
start,
also would have been a lot more expensive with me having to travel with you.
and it wouldn't have been as intimate with the artist because
sure.
most of the times it's just
Oh,
one-on-one.
yeah.
Me with them talking candidly because there are no cameras rolling.
You'll get them to
and just
open up a
having
lot
discussion.
more.
The personal project's been going really well. I love to go out and do these shoots. I've done.
Did you explain the personal
No,
project
I haven't
yet?
explained
You're
it
gonna
yet.
wait.
I'm still not explaining it.
Okay.
But I've probably done 9 or 10 different days in the life of part of this project and something else as well. And they're really good. And it opens doors when I don't have to sell myself. The work, they just pass it along and they're like, yeah, you need to work with this person. And the other people are like, yeah, that would be great. And so it wasn't about money, but it is turning into getting paying gigs for other stuff, or they want to use the photos for something. Because I'm amazed that when I put together the book for Stefan, which I should get in the mail shortly from Adorama
you already did
Pics,
it.
well, I ordered his and Kirkland's, and I'm going to mail Kirkland's with that nice photo of he and his wife, which is up here right now.
Which, real quick, Kirkland's Place, filled, stacked with photo books everywhere.
Photo books,
It's
Oh, yeah.
amazing.
and
pictures
photos
framed.
from other other amazing photographers from generations.
Talk
and
about a man
generations.
obsessed with photography. It's incredible.
Every
Really?
wall is filled, and
awesome.
It is great. So I don't know where I was going with that, Stephen.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Yeah,
the
you did.
Stefan photo book.
Well, you made photo books.
Yeah, the Stefan photo book ended up being almost 100 pages because with Stefan, I ended up with 107 what I call red files, which are my best of the best, not counting the 300 starred files, which are 5 stars, which are definitely good. But the best of the best for the photo story was like 107. It's just I think the amount. I if I was to do a day in the life of somebody to get paid, I would charge $10,000 plus usage.
Oh, wow.
Because, I mean, I'm not wishful thinking. I'm just saying that for what I'm able to deliver, Todd, can you show me $10,000, please?
Those are $1,000 bills, apparently.
Those are 2 $5,000 bills right there.
Yeah.
I don't want to pick them up.
The amount of photos that people are left with from a photo story is incredible. And the fact they can use them for whatever they want. And if it's something where a budget was involved, I just tell them to send me a check.
So would you do it similar to a wedding where you would be like, I include a photo book and that kind of stuff as well? Because it seems like that's the way you've been going.
No, that's my added value. That's something I just give.
Added value that I'm sure that's included in that $10,000 price. No?
No, that's an added. You're paying me $10,000 to come and shoot and deliver what I deliver in terms of photos. That's my. I would give them the books. That's what I do with everybody, whether I'm getting paid or not. So everybody that I've done a photo shoot with, they've gotten a photo book. And his photo book's really going to be good. And I'm going to hand deliver it next week when I'm back in LA. And what's cool about the project is I've been piggybacking the travel off of other gigs that people have paid for the travel for. Like when we went out to Burbank and Canon paid for the travel, that brought you out. Did I do a personal yeah, I stayed longer.
You did. You stayed a couple extra days.
What shoot did I do? Oh, I did Maddie, right? That girl.
Yep, you did the girl. Stefan was producing her, right? Yeah.
Right. So I've done that. And so I'm talking a while, right?
Well, I think at the bottom line is it's an exercise in networking. I mean, that's really
true.
what it all comes down to. Is sometimes you got to open your mouth. Sometimes you got to work below your rate.
Todd,
sometimes you got to work for free.
What is your rate for opening your mouth?
Oh,
I mean, thousands. It's priceless.
It depends.
Show us with the
how
cash.
drunk I am.
Can we talk about the elephant in the room, by the way? Todd's freaking giant.
You mean Frank?
Yeah.
Oh, Frank.
He's the guest speaker today.
That's because we changed up the photo on the wall out there. We put the A9 photo of Dave Leno out there.
Yep.
But yeah, no, it's absolutely a networking exercise.
Yeah.
And it's amazing how your network can expand just from meeting people and doing a good job too. That's why I say I would charge $10,000. And would I get it? It depends who you're photographing. Do I think it's worth it? Absolutely. For somebody to leave with 50, 100. What I was going to say,
depends who you're
what I was
photographing.
going to say is I find it amazing that sometimes photographers go out and do a gig and they get 2 keepers, right? And I'm delivering
Tooth keepers?
50, 100 photos that can stand on their own and tell a great story that they can use, from portraits to candids to action shots. They're all there.
Yeah.
Because I ended up
Tell
on
the
stage.
full story, man.
You know, the James Blunt photo that I told the story of the night, going up on stage, doing that awesome wide shot. I was really happy with that.
But you opened your mouth.
I did.
You opened your mouth. It's just a balancing act, though. I mean, networking, being persistent, but not being annoying. It's a tough balance. I mean, and everybody has to learn their own style. But I mean, I think if anything, people can walk away from with this conversation is you got to speak up.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to work under your rate or for free or do it for spec. But
I will add to that not being annoying part is certainly key, because there's plenty of that going around where you ask once, you ask 2 hours later, you ask 4 hours later, and you're just that constant nuisance in the background.
Yeah.
Asking for like a specific job or a gig or something
yeah,
like that.
and you almost have to learn it on your own how you're going to approach people.
Yep.
So I don't know if there's any magic button.
It's tough.
There.
And you also need to have something to show. You could be 17, 18, and you're like, well, nobody wants to hire me. It's like, well, sometimes you just haven't done enough yet. And they say that paying your dues thing. You just haven't paid your dues. Not saying that you can't do it as a 17, 18-year-old, but it does get easier as you get better and you learn. You just learn, and you know how to deal with people. I mean, because I'm not going to end up on stage at James Blunt if the guy didn't feel that I was capable of being there. The only thing he said, I'm like, he's like, you can go anywhere you want tonight.
Granted,
he's like, just don't jump on me when I'm playing
Did James
the piano.
Blunt see any of your work prior to being asked?
He didn't. The only photo
that was more like...
The only photo that he got to see was the photo that Stefan texted him of the 3 of them, the writers, outside at the wall. That was it.
You know what he
took
knew?
Stefan's
He
word
knew
for
you
it.
weren't a weirdo.
No.
That's what it came down to. Like,
you were also around him all day, so he did see
Yeah.
how you were when you were interacting with other people.
He's like,
and
you
that
know what?
kinda
He's
kept
not a
yourself
weirdo.
fly on the wall.
I'm comfortable with this.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the
I mean,
day,
he may
you
be a clown,
people
but it's
have
cool.
to be comfortable with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or comfortable.
Comfortable.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's move on. I got to go back to LA on Tuesday. Have a YouTube thing, and
Okay.
so when Google's paying for it, I left an extra 2 days, Thursday and Friday, to schedule more shoots if they happen. If they don't, then I'm hanging out.
Awesome.
Nice,
So
man.
That's what that is. Eclipse.
Yes.
Turn around every now and then. I get a little bit lonely when I see that look in your face.
Grinding.
Turn around every now and then. 'Cause every now and then I fall apart.
Grinding.
I fucking need you more than ever.
I fucking need you. I don't know the rest.
Love the Dan
curse.
Band.
My favorite story of the Dan Band is when I went to see him at the TLA and I'm front and center
Dude, how
at the
awesome was that?
barricade. Well, were you there?
No, but you told me about it.
He comes out and he does this. He comes right out on stage. Which camera will pick me up? That one?
All of them, yeah.
He comes out on stage and he's like, he walks right out and he goes right in my face. And I was like, yes, that's amazing.
Did you tell your therapist about that?
No.
Oh. He always wonders about
What
that.
will that have to... You're a dick. Anyway, so I went to see the Eclipse. I went to South Carolina.
Yeah, you went for Totality, man.
Yeah,
Full
because it's totality or bust.
It is,
In all
it really
reality,
is.
once you see totality, you never, like, you would
Even 99.9%.
That's what they say.
9.
Like, that's what they say is that if 99% eclipse is not the same as totality, because what happens is just the sliver of sun won't let you see the corona. And then when we're sitting there, we went to a place called Manning, South Carolina. How did we end up in Manning? I stayed with a buddy in North Carolina, drove the 8.5 hours to get to his place. Then we saw that the weather was going to be bad, and he was only going to have 80-some% anyway. No, he was going to have 90%. We went inland. I'm like, we should find a Walmart parking lot.
Yeah.
Because that's a target you can search on the Google. And so we found this place, Manning. We didn't want to go to Charleston because the weather wasn't going to be good. And there were a lot of more people going there. Found Manning, 2 hours, 35 minutes there. Went to the Walmart parking lot, went in to use their bathroom, saw a bunch of, there were like 50 people, and between them there were about 5 teeth.
A lot of Meredith's friends.
A lot of Meredith's friends in South Carolina.
Frank's friends.
Frank's friends.
Manning's
Frank's family. Family reunion, you some bitches.
Manning's population is 4,000.
Oh, wow.
But what was cool is there were a lot of people.
All related.
There's a Walmart there?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's
were-
where they all live.
There was a lot of, and there were Waffle Houses. So the Walmart parking lot had a lot of tourists who came in to
awesome.
either sleep there. I mean, why not? Totality's totality.
Yeah.
If you can get totality, all you need is an open place and you can look up in the sky.
Yeah.
Totally.
And so what we ended up doing is going across the street to Manning High School because I'd rather go there than be in the parking lot. And it was cool. Like, I didn't care. Like, as the eclipse is happening, you're like, cool, great. I'm using my goggles.
Well, Dan and I actually, while you were there, we stepped out for a few minutes when it hit like the full capacity here, which was 80% or so in Philly.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
It
Yep.
wasn't really
Did
interesting
you have
at all.
glasses?
We did not have glasses, but there was a giant cloud in the way.
Yeah. Yeah. That
So
happened
we were actually
mine
looking
too.
like through our cell phones looking at it. We didn't actually really look at it because we had no glasses.
I bought these goggles.
Let me see it. Wow.
They're steampunked. I just thought we would look cool wearing them.
Jeannie's school had like an event, so they had a bunch of goggles there. So we went there and
So
checked that out.
So when totality hit, like, I didn't believe it. I was like, yeah, whatever, totality. And then when that last sliver goes of light and you take your goggles off, you're up there, you're like, oh wow. I said, oh wow.
And it's dark. I mean, it goes dark.
The lights at the school came on. The
Oh, wow.
the
See,
sensors,
that's impressive.
The
Now,
parking
is it
lights
like
came on.
pitch black dark or
No,
kind of like
it's
sunrise
not pitch black.
dark?
No, it's darker than that.
Wow.
It's darker than that. And there's as the eclipse was getting towards totality, it was very golden, hazy.
Very
It
cool.
was super cool. And when the sun went from 98 degrees burning to sitting out bathing in this light, and it was
Like a little
98
chilly.
degrees was there? They're my favorite.
98 degrees.
I'm
and
actually
it
a
was
Boys fan personally,
No,
but-
it felt like you were sitting in the shade.
Yeah.
And that's what the temperatures dropped to because it
That's
felt like you were in the
crazy.
shade. And then all the shadows were
You heard
eclipse
crickets
shadows.
too, right?
The crickets started to chirp.
Oh.
All of that stuff started to happen. And then during the totality, I took my glasses off and I was like, oh, wow. And it's amazing just
Breathtaking.
staring up
Yeah.
at that. And I chose not to take photos. I did take one iPhone photo, and I'm glad I didn't shoot because all it would have been is a tight shot of the corona, which
Same
is
photo
what
that
everybody else
everyone
took.
has.
But then on the other hand, you did see some other people who took some really cool photos with landscapes and wider shots that show it all. And it's like, yeah, that's really cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
You have to change it up.
One thing that really was getting annoying, there was this family next to me, and they had this kid. It was his birthday. His name was Sawyer, and he wanted to go see Sawyer was like 7, and his sister was... maybe he was like 8 and the sister, maybe he was closer to 9 and the sister was maybe 7. But the sister kept saying, Sawyer, stop taking bites out of the sun. And so 10 minutes later, Sawyer took another bite out of the sun. And then 10 minutes later, Sawyer, are you going to stop eating the sun? And I was just like, you, Sawyer, I hate you and your sister. And I'm looking at...
Sawyer, you are ruining my son.
I'm sitting there with the girlfriend, and she's like, no.
Do you know who I am?
She's like, no. She's like, be good. And I'm like, because she's the voice of reason. I wasn't really upset with the kid. I'm just saying this for funniness. But no, it's just like,
Inside you want to kill him. But.
No, I didn't want to kill him. His sister was like, Sawyer, mommy, Sawyer took another bite out of the sun.
She hit gold with that joke, I'm sure. At some point, she was like, that's a great joke.
And she kept-
I'm going to double down on
she
this.
killed it.
Yeah.
And then
It's like what Jared
you
does.
go with the good material. It's like your jokes.
And guess what? It wasn't a solar eclipse because Sawyer came out and was like, it's a Sawyer eclipse, mommy. I was like, you, Sawyer, and your family.
Jared. It's
All
a
right.
Sawyer eclipse.
It's just like, great, Sawyer. And then there was these other people that drove down from Delaware. They were. I liked walking around and talking to people. That was fun. I just like randomly talking to people.
Yeah.
Then we're leaving right after Totality because we got to drive 8.5 hours or so back.
Totality.
And
Totality.
I see this girl with the back, her car's open and she's holding a tripod. I'm like, did you get any good shots or were you shooting photos? She could barely talk. She was just like, not because she's from the South, but because she
like
was
stunned,
just,
or?
she was just like,
She was drunk?
no, the next thing I see is her poke her, whoever was in the car in the side, and the guy pokes his head out and he goes,
Jared Polin.
he goes, oh my God, what are you doing here? I mean, I know what you're looking at the eclipse, but what are you doing?
Starstruck.
So then we
Yes, tell me more about me. Tell me more about
Yeah,
me.
tell me more
How
about
much
me.
do you love me?
Yeah.
So did you get a picture with him?
I did. I took a picture. I took a video because I'm like, we need to get a selfie video under eclipse light.
Did she get shots though?
She did get a picture of us, yeah.
I mean, the pictures of the eclipse.
Of the eclipse.
I don't remember. I don't think she ever really got the
So you
answer
really
out.
didn't care. You just wanted to know if they knew you.
No,
That's what was happening.
Yeah,
so you
actually.
don't know if they got photos, but you do know they recognized
They did
you.
recognize me.
So it was all ego.
and my hair was down.
Got you.
Well, you were. I guarantee wearing an I Shoot Raw shirt,
I
weren't you?
guarantee that was happening.
Yeah, sure. It's always it. Me.
Did you guys try to take any photos, Steven?
No, you could. It was clouds here.
I took a photo with my phone. Like at some
I mean, we
point
took
you could
photos
see
of our,
it.
we took photos of our phone and video as well, but
Yeah.
it was just. It's eclipse. It was 80%.
Did you burn your retinas?
It didn't look like anything cool. No, we didn't actually look straight at it. We just looked
Because
like
if
through
you
our
burn your
phones.
retina, you won't get your pictures in focus.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
Dick.
Moving on. That's the solar eclipse. It was totally worth Totality. And
Totality.
I think the next one in 2024, I'm actually going to
2024.
drive out to because that's about 6 hours away for us.
I
in the
think
path of
Erie's
total.
much further than 6 hours.
Erie?
It's about 6
You
hours.
said Erie?
Erie,
Yeah,
Pennsylvania
Erie.
is where it's going to be in the path of
Yeah, I
totality.
mean, Pittsburgh's about a
6
good
hours.
5
Pittsburgh's
or
about
6.
5.
And then you got to go north probably another
It's far.
I mean, I
45
Google
to an
mapped it. You
hour.
said 6 hours.
You may be better going to like Buffalo-ish area.
That's fine.
I think I want to go.
I think I'd be
because
willing to
too.
go 8, up to like 8 hours.
They're talking that the totality there
Totality.
will be 6 minutes of totality.
Wow.
You'd almost get bored after like 5 minutes. You're just like,
I said
Jared
that after
would.
I said that after 2
I
minutes.
don't even know why we're here. I hate you. Screw you, Skylar. I don't even know why I exist.
That's Sawyer.
Sawyer, we should be shooting right now. Why aren't you doing video of me?
yeah, scream a little louder into the mic.
I'm going to scream out into the microphone.
I'm yelling by it, not into it.
Zero mic etiquette.
Sawyer, Todd, and his little sister too.
Screw Sawyer and your little sister. I hate my life, Sawyer. Don't ever grow up.
What else we got to recap?
Well, let's talk about the big, get into newsy stuff.
Yeah.
The Nikon D850 was officially announced.
Officially.
The leak
After
was
months of leaks.
well, the leak was basically right.
Everything.
But in the preview video that I made, we talk about the stuff that really the leaks didn't talk about. They talked about doing X, but they didn't really explain what that meant.
Well, like the 8K time lapse, for example, they kept saying it's in camera, but technically it's just
taking still photos.
Yeah, you
and
still
then
have
later
to piece
you have
it
to
together
use the software
and stitch it together.
Oh,
in
you have
post.
to use software. It doesn't do it in
That's
camera.
for 8K, but the
Right.
4K time lapse is
Does it in
baked in,
camera, yeah.
Oh.
and the 120 frames a second at 1080 at 120 is baked in as well.
That's for the most part every camera these days.
Right, so it's nice that it has it. But
is
this is a stacked freaking camera.
Oh, yeah.
The D850 is the camera where I can't see people complaining like they did with the 5D Mark IV.
To me, the D810 was more of a studio landscape camera. Now it's more of an all-around jack-of-all-trade type camera.
Landscape 64 ISO.
The focus system, the 9 frames a second if you have the extra battery grip.
Well, battery grip with extra
and
battery.
Because how much did you say that would have
well,
been?
it's $399 for the battery grip. It's $150 for a D5 battery if you don't own one, and it's $369 for a battery charger. You can still use the grip with an extra regular battery for the D850. You just won't get the extra 2 frames a second. And also, you get close to 5,000 shots with the D5 battery in. And they said with the time lapse, the 8K time lapse, it will only do one shutter actuation. So if you're doing 9,999
It'll do
shots,
an electronic shutter
it
at
will
that
just
point.
be electronic shutter. So you're not using any of the
That's great.
200,000 shutter life.
Yeah, that's great.
So that's something cool. Yeah, we don't really want to talk about the specs, but more so what it can do.
It is amazing though with that price range though. I mean, when you get that grip added on, you're looking at the 4,500 area in terms of price. Like
Still
you're
$2
getting
grand short
really
of the
up
other.
there.
But
you're
if
not
you own a
D5
D5,
status, but
I could see having a D850.
Me too.
I think we would have a couple of D850s. I think if we don't have to go Sony,
Sure.
or if Canon doesn't want to let us use other cameras,
well, the biggest thing for me is the full frame 4K.
full frame 4K.
Question is, how's the quality?
It's
is there going to be
422
Moraine,
8-bit.
pixel binning?
Well,
that
I've
kind
known
of
nothing
stuff?
about that, and I think most of all,
It is 422, huh?
422 8-bit,
Which is exactly what Canon does.
Out.
Canon's 422 8-bit.
out HDMI out, not in the camera.
Well, Canon doesn't even let you do out with 4K.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It takes XQD SD cards. Obviously, XQD is a great format, except for that Lexar doesn't. Lexar? Yeah, is that the name of that company? Yeah, they don't
Who?
exist anymore.
Lexar?
Yeah, that's right.
What?
No, I
Rest
actually
in
forgot.
peace.
Yeah, we haven't heard from them.
I wonder why.
Well, I tried to get a goodie box.
Yeah.
I'm like, will you send us
Just send us
I just
everything you have
all
left
I asked
over.
for, I said XQD, SD, micro SD.
Yeah.
No compact flash. Send us card readers. Send us towers. We want to use all this
Yeah.
stuff.
Everything
Yeah.
you got.
I'm gonna remind me to email Dan. Remind me after the show to email him again. We did get paid though. That is a bonus.
That's good.
This is brought to you by Lexar. If you can buy Lexar, buy Lexar.
But the D850, man, stacked. I mean, how do you feel about the full frame 4K video?
Well, that's what I was saying when I heard you guys
Yeah.
talking about it. That it's
Because you deal with the 5D4
but it's
right
only
now. crop
HDMI
sensor.
out. That full frame 4K.
no, it's in camera.
In
4K.
camera.
In camera.
So, which also, real quick to preface it, the Sony A9 also does full frame 4K out. And the A7s too, but the A7s do more of the pixel binning, so people don't usually use that mode. They use the Super 35 mode. So there are other options out there.
Right.
But I'm wondering how this quality will be.
The only thing we know
Nikon.
that will suck is that the autofocus capability for
We
video.
assume because the D5,
It's the same as the other.
And the
It's
D5 I
shitty
would never
focus.
use for
Yeah.
autofocus and video.
But for everything else, if you're doing manual or you can still touch the screen because now you have 100%
full touchscreen, I
full
saw, like,
touchscreen,
menu and
100%,
everything.
Nice.
everything. Because remember when
like
they
Canon.
handed me the D5 at that event, and I'm sitting there touching the menu. I'm like, what? They're like, yeah, it's locked.
It's
I'm
like, the Sony A9. The only thing you can touch is the focus, and that's it.
Yeah,
it does
that's
nothing.
weird.
it does nothing.
Yeah.
And it's a shitty 1 million pixel screen. This is 2.3 million pixels.
This is the same resolution as the D500,
It's a
which
great
is
screen.
awesome. Yeah.
And the screens flip like these.
Only
Not like
tilt.
that, but
they're not very
Oh,
angled
what-
like
what is
your
this,
camera,
Not like the Canon, but
the
like this
D750.
one.
yeah, they're like the
Yeah.
D750.
They're more of a heavy duty
Gotcha.
like the D500
How
is.
does that flip? Does that flip under that you can see yourself flip under?
No,
or no, it doesn't
absolutely
go
not.
that far.
It only
it
goes a
doesn't. Gotcha.
little bit, but not really.
I mean, that's helpful.
Yeah, I mean, it's great if you're holding it below you, it flips all the way up, but that's
and
really
above,
it.
and you know,
Above you,
the
but it
high
only
shots.
flips down like a little bit.
Oh, okay.
It's
It
not
has
like
this-
a full flip,
Yeah.
right? Tilt.
No. No, I actually think this one does flip down like this, so you can
Does
hold
it?
it up.
Okay, that's
yeah.
good.
But for whatever reason, that other one that we used didn't. The 7500.
Yeah.
The D7500 didn't do.
That's what I mean.
That.
It
I was like,
barely
why?
tilted at all.
But this camera adds a silent shooting mode, aka mirrorless camera mode, which is what I would call it, where it allows you to shoot 6 frames a second, full res, 45.7 megapixels. The only issue is you can't use a viewfinder because
Mirrors
the
up.
mirror flips up, blocks your view, and it also locks in exposure and focus on the first shot. It's not really something that I could use in a photojournalistic sense.
I agree, although I do see a lot of people using the live view for
You can't. This is not a way that you shoot photos.
I just feel like stabilization wise, I need to have that extra pinpoint of stabilization with my head in the viewfinder.
Nope.
And then I got the arms and everything,
Yeah.
and it's set.
Yeah.
I can
Yep.
be at a super slow shutter speed, and it's perfect.
Human tripod.
Sharpest photo ever.
What they called me in college.
So, but the silent shooting is getting there. I mean, this camera is so stacked because it goes up to 25,600 ISO, shooting at obviously a ton of megapixels.
Yeah.
It's going to be really interesting to see the high ISO capability because this camera, landscapes, sports,
Everything.
portraits, yes, video. It is the one camera, and yet at $32.99, I don't consider that terribly. I mean, it's expensive.
that's pricey.
But I will
But
say the
for what you get.
D810 and the D800, I believe, wasn't that 3,600
It
or
may have
something when it
been.
first came out? So it is still less money, and it's also. I wonder, did they price it at that point because the 5D4 is also priced at 3,300 currently?
This is a long-term camera. You have this camera for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
Because it is fully capable.
D810
and the
still
D810
holds
still
up.
fully
Yeah.
capable.
Yeah.
But this is just a very nice step up. Nikon did a great job where they're not going to get shit for this like Canon got shit for the 6D Mark II, got shit for the 5D Mark IV.
I'm curious about how that sensor is going to be. The new BSI stacked sensor, right? Isn't that what it is?
Backside illuminated.
Backside
Whatever
illuminated.
that means.
Yeah. Is it going to be just as good as the D810? Is it going to be even better?
And how is it going to be compared to a
the,
D5?
The base ISO is still 64, which they said it was going to be even better than 64, but nothing changed there.
well, there's a low of 32, not recommended.
But it's not the
64
native-
is-
yeah.
64 is. I shot
Incredible.
64 in Poland.
awesome.
When we were in Poland, we shot 64 ISO of
Yep.
the Auschwitz.
That full frame 4K though. That's sweet.
Well, that would be a good replacement for us for downstairs to use for Photo News Fix. It would
yeah.
be great to use in the studio because we lock focus in. We don't have to follow focus, even though dual pixel AF and what Todd's using is the greatest thing ever.
Unless
all Nikon
until
needs,
it
man.
goes to this face over here.
Well, and then it goes right to Frank.
When we were setting Todd's camera up, it actually switched to Todd's picture
did you
on
lock
the
it
wall.
in?
No, I didn't lock it in, but because we were doing practices like this.
Oh, no, it
practice
stayed
runs,
with
and
me.
it seemed like it was fine. That's
It
the thing.
likes-
the dual
it likes
pixel,
Frank every once in a
it
while.
locks on,
Yeah.
it's usually
Yeah.
staying.
Yeah,
but
it's
I could
solid.
see having a bunch of those. Like I have to send back the D810 I've probably had for 2 years. That's been my video camera
We've had
at
the
home.
D750s for what, 2 years?
Oh, we've
at
had them
least?
for a while.
3 years, whenever they came
I would
out.
love if they would give us 5 of them.
Maybe they will.
I'll work that out. We got to talk to them
A
about
lot of
that.
people talk shit about Nikon and video, and I mean, we use Nikon and their DSLRs
They
for
look
almost
good.
every video we do.
Yeah, they've
in the
always
studio.
looked
Just
good.
wouldn't run and gun with
We
them.
would never run and gun autofocus wise.
No.
Yeah.
Not capable. All right, let's get to. So that's part of the news. The other thing is the 6D Mark II real world review.
Yes.
Is out, and
That was fun. That was cool to
the
shoot.
Renaissance Fair was fun.
There's so much stuff to shoot there. So much opportunity for photos.
There's a lot.
It's almost like we can go back and do a whole nother review there, and it looked like we didn't even take the same type of photos.
Play that one again. Was that like Jewish music?
Yeah, that was my. It's the closest
that
thing
the
I could think of
Renaissance
to the
Fair
Renaissance
music?
Fair.
Well, I have to say I watched
that was more
it.
my Germany music, but I was like, fuck it.
I watched it last night. I have to say Dan did a really good job on it.
Dan edited that one. Yeah,
Chopping
that was
that up fast.
Dan's like
edits.
first legit real world review, and he
Whatever,
did great.
Dan.
The joust was fun.
Oh yeah.
I love the joust. And I
Joust.
liked, you know what I liked about it, Dan? I liked when you put the picture up, and if it was a bunch of photos in a row, they go by pretty quick, but then you settled in on my best of the best and put it back up on the screen after.
Do you must not watch other real world reviews? Because we do that on everyone.
No, I think Dan invented that.
No, I think it's
Dan
been
invented
it's
that.
different.
Yeah, I'm
That's
pretty
funny
sure
because
Dan
I'm pretty
invented
sure
that.
I told Dan how to do that.
Well,
I think you better probably polish up your resume.
Yeah, I liked it. So, anyway, that's out.
Yeah, we do that every time.
6D Mark II is a camera that's gotten a lot of shit.
Yeah.
From a lot of people who
Yeah.
have never used it. And we're completely honest with you in the
keyboard
video
warriors.
that, yeah, there are shortcomings to that camera. There are. There is stuff that's 4 years old technology, and you get why they do it, because it's their entry level full frame camera. They're not going to do they're not going to make the 5D Mark IV into a camera that's $2,000.
Yeah.
Because that would alienate that. Like the D850 isn't going to kill the D5 sales. It's not going to kill the D5 sales because there's people that are buying D5s are buying D5s for a reason.
Sure.
They're shooting at 12
They
frames
still want
a
the high
second.
frame rate, yeah.
They need the lower ISO capability,
Dual
higher ISO
XQD.
capability, dual XQD, the build quality, all of that type of stuff. And I mean, I could see using a D850. I can't wait to try it. But again, the feel is like once you use a pro body, high-end professional body like a D5, the D850 still doesn't have that same robust feel.
Even with a grip?
Even with a grip, you still know. I say anytime you have to add a grip, it just, it's still a professional camera. I'm
Yeah.
not saying it's not. I'm just saying feel-wise, the other one, like when you use a 1DX Mark II, just solid.
The ergonomics on the flagship DSLRs for Nikon and Canon are incredible.
So-
I mean, they just fit perfectly in your hand.
So I was happy with the results I got from the camera. I had to figure out which focus mode to use. I talked about how I hated the zone area AF. I thought it sucked. It actually did suck. I didn't think it sucked. It was terrible.
For shooting people, it sucks. But for shooting
terrible.
like giant trains or any type of big
Yeah.
thing coming by, that's
What was the
perfect for that.
nerdiest thing that you saw at the Renaissance Fair?
Oh, dude. Remember the one girl? The one nerd that you loved?
Oh, with
elf
which
ears?
one? The one with the elf ears
There
that
was
walks
the
by?
elf ears.
Dude, girl walks by with elf ears while Steven's doing B-roll. I'm like,
And Jared's like,
so-
I like your ears.
Keep in mind,
Jared's like,
keep in mind, I have earbuds in the whole time. I hear everything Jared's doing, even if I'm like 100 feet away.
you hear him going,
and all I hear is
"Oh,
like,
yeah,
what's up?"
elf ears.
No, I said I
up,
like your
Elfie?
ears. I like your ears, and she went.
And I'm
wait,
like-
hold on. She went like this. She went. Thank you.
But all I hear is I like.
I was like, nerd.
I like your ears, and I'm like, is he hitting on someone? Saying I like your ears?
Amazing. That's
and I realized she had elf
amazing.
ears.
Well, and then there was that other elfish girl who had that. She was wearing like Zelda-y type stuff.
There was a
and
lot
had
of people with like the
tattoos.
the tails and stuff, like squirrel
Nice.
tails.
You mean
and
butt plugs?
Yes.
Whatever they're on.
Oh yeah, that's
that
what
kind
they
of
were.
stuff.
Dan knows
That's what
about
they
it.
A lot
were,
of
yeah.
cosplay stuff.
He's
Well,
wearing one right now.
Then there's people when we're getting ready to go in, and then these girls are next to us getting dressed, and she's got like a spear.
Oh yeah.
So you're allowed to bring your swords and knives in,
like real
But
weapons.
what security does is then zip tie it shut. And it's like, why do you bring this? They're zip tying it shut. It's like,
Yeah.
what do you do?
What do you mean
nerd?
zip tie shut like into your holster?
Into the
yeah,
holster,
in the
it's zip
holster.
tied.
So you could easily just be like, let me
So-
pull my sword out.
What if I just took my sword out and cut the zip tie?
Well, I think the way they had it was a zip tie. It was like a wire
I don't
thing
know.
or
They
something.
went, and then they sliced it so you could.
Yeah.
It's like almost
Oh.
impossible. I don't know how you get it off. Maybe get it off before you leave.
I mean, I'm sure there's a way to get it off if you really wanted to get it off.
Yeah.
But that was fun. That was a good shoot, and the edit came out great. I think it's a great review.
And
you
we
used it
recommend-
like any other camera. And
If you're in the Pennsylvania area, go to the Pennsylvania Renaissance Fair.
Yeah.
And there's also Renaissance fairs around the country and I'm sure around the world. But it's a great opportunity for the family. It's a fun day. I wouldn't eat food personally if I were you. I wouldn't eat chicken legs or turkey legs
yeah.
or whatever those things are.
But also, speaking of asking to do photography jobs and for placement and stuff like that, you asked to go in the glass blowing place. You simply just asked to get closer, and you actually got to go inside the demonstration
well, I
area.
knew I wasn't going to be able
and
to get
take
good
photos.
shots outside of it.
Yeah, 'cause
so
there
I
was-
asked, and they're like, "Here, ask the owner." And the owner's like, "Come on in. Just don't get hit by
And
flying
we didn't
exploding
have
glass."
press photo passes or anything.
You just ask.
just yeah.
Did he ask you
get
to
the shot.
like escort his daughter to like the Eye of Sauron or anything as payment or anything like that, or any kind of like
No,
gold
Todd.
doubloons you had to pay?
Okay, another news story is the crash plan. If anybody, we talked about this, Amazon and Amazon Cloud Storage going not fully unlimited. Well, there was Crash Plan, there's Carbonite, there's Backblaze.
All types of
And then
cloud
Crash Plan
solutions.
announced that they're going to get rid of their free tier, and which I guess people would be upset about. And I thought, like, well, wow, Crash Plan's getting rid of that free unlimited. But then when you read the option, and they're like, well, we've moved to $10 a month per device for unlimited. And it's like, oh, okay, so if I connect my computer and I back up all of this shit unlimited without bandwidth restrictions, then why wouldn't I do this? So it's like $10, it's $120 a year.
Yeah,
That's not bad
That's
at all.
not bad for unlimited
Yeah.
storage to save yourself. And I wouldn't just put everything up there because people are like, well, what if they go out of business? Yeah, that stuff's going to happen. You then will have to download everything and remove it, but this should just be your fourth or third or fifth backup. You should have multiple sources of backups.
Yeah.
That's the whole point is you try to have as many backups as possible. I don't know. I just brought it up because at first I was like, damn, Crash Plan, they're getting rid of this free thing. But then I'm like, $10 a month. That's
So
well worth it.
before it was free unlimited.
It was free for probably like what Google Photos does, where it uploads from your phone and saves all that stuff. But people are realizing there's not a lot of money in the consumer end. It's in the professional and business end when it comes to storage, where you get the real money.
Yeah.
And it's less work. Just like why Lexar or Micron decided to just deal with selling chips to make servers, because it was much less hassle, even though it was profitable to deal with the cards.
Who knows?
Should we move on to the best real world review ever? Which I'm getting
Yes.
fucking sick thinking about it.
What are you talking about?
Wait, hold on.
took me a minute to
Let me set the
remember.
scene.
I was like,
hold
what are you
on. Let me
talking
set let me set the tone. Quiet, everybody.
I'm getting dizzy.
Quiet. All right, everybody, come on in the boat here. Everybody, all right. Jared, come on in. Don't be afraid. Come on in. Bring your little sweaty friend as well. Come on, gentlemen.
Thanks, Captain Jack Sparrow.
So the idea was, I just got back from South Carolina on Monday. Wednesday, we got invited to go to the Atlantic City Air Show, and this time to photograph from the boats, the center boat, which is the target or just the sight line for everything else that's flying.
It's actually part of the show.
Right,
So
it's
the
right in the
planes
middle, so the
know-
planes know where to line
Yep.
up. And I was like, yeah, that'd be a great opportunity. The guy invited us because he saw our other videos.
Mainly because it was just different. We want to do the air show again, but we didn't want to do the same thing we did for the past 2 times.
So the idea here for the real world review was to use the Tamron 18-400. Oh. But we had one for Nikon and one for Canon, so we could shoot them both on the boat. So yeah, there they are. And that was the idea. So the lens cap's not on this one.
Uh-oh.
It's the Nikon. That was, the one I was maybe.
That was the one you were using, yeah.
Yeah, right. So we go out on the boat. We're in the inlet. Everything's cool. I peed in a bucket already, dumped it overboard.
Oh, that was fun,
That
too.
was great.
Yeah. Especially when the boat was moving, trying to pee
I
in a
didn't have to
bucket.
do that. But so we're in the inlet, so we're going pretty slow. It's not choppy. We get out into the open water, and it starts to, rock back and forth, doing that thing. I'm fine. Then I walk inside to the room and to check on the cameras, which we left on the table, now have subsequently fallen onto the floor.
Well, you came out to me and you're like, did you put them on the floor? I'm like,
Yeah.
no.
But I guess I got sick or started to feel sick when I was in there, and then when I went outside, I just never got better for 7 hours. So
Yeah.
I couldn't shoot any photos. I couldn't do the real world review. I was sitting trying not to throw up the entire time.
I mean, I've never, ever seen Jared this sick in my life. I've never really seen
Did
Jared
he
sick,
change
to be
colors
honest.
at all?
What was that?
Did he change colors at all?
He also looked like a vampire. I mean, his skin
Well, he normally does.
was completely pale.
You can see the beautiful footage. that
Please
Steven
show
shot.
footage.
Oh, I did extensive footage of the entire thing, and then when he got sick, I was taking footage of that as well, and then I was like, I can't keep filming him. He looks just miserable.
How'd you feel?
So I stopped after a while. Well, I felt the same at first, but then after maybe an hour or so, I kind of just got up and walked
you
around
manned
and
up.
kind of got used to it.
You basically manned up, right?
I manned up, exactly.
Right. Yep.
But
yep.
so I took one of the cameras, and Jared's like, yeah, just shoot, man. Just get stuff while we're here. You might as well. So I just took some pictures
I
as well.
couldn't really talk
Jared, I would come
Did
to
you
ask
feel
him a
like
question.
you were gonna blow chunks?
the whole time.
Really?
The whole time.
And I kept saying, just
My
do
head
it.
didn't hurt.
Just Ralph.
Yeah. Maybe if you would have just puked.
Well, I asked my neighbor Jen. She's a doctor. She goes, "Yeah, that'd be good for 20 minutes, and then it comes right back." She's like the endorphin rush.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes it comes right back, but for me, most of the time, I'm good to go after.
Yeah, well,
But-
I don't like throwing up. So
Now, when you stepped off the boat, were you good?
no,
Did it
but
go away?
before we even got off the boat. So once we got into the inlet,
Perfect. Jared
Really?
looks over at me. We're
I'm like,
driving.
"Hey, Steven."
We're coming back, and Jared's just like trying to sleep, just like nauseous and stuff. And then we actually get back and dock, and he's like, "Hey, Steven, what's up?"
It was
I'm
before
good
we
now.
docked.
You ready to shoot now?
Exactly, just like that. And I was like, "Oh my god, you just literally snapped
That's
out of it."
crazy.
But the boat, I mean,
we were hitting some.
They
big-
called it a calm day. It was like I had to literally like try and use like my body as like a human gimbal to try and compensate for the shaking. and the just the motion in general.
And I guess
trying to shoot on top of that, looking through like a viewfinder with that motion, it's like it really.
That's.
I mean, it was really cool with the MiG that buzzed the ship, and
it was incredible to actually shoot from there. But Jared just couldn't.
I couldn't. I was just covering my ears when the F-16s would fly by really freaking loud and buzz the ship.
And I would stop by every like 20, 30 minutes to just check on him because he went to the front of the ship by himself, and he would just be like, "Don't even talk to me. Just leave."
I'm like, I can't even look at you right now because you're out of the side of my eye. It looks like you're making me throw up.
Yeah, you're making
and I'm like, nothing wrong with your face. I'm just saying you're in my peripheral vision.
Well, the question I have is, how'd you end up on a boat in the first place? Why would you do the boat?
We
guy called.
We had a guy,
he sent an email.
A fan actually. He watches our videos, and he's just started getting into photography. Captain John Bowden. And he hit us up.
John Bowden.
He hit us up, and he has a tugboat, a 110-foot vessel, and he was like, "Let's do this. You guys want to shoot from center show? We're actually part of the show. It's huge. That's why we thought we were like, oh, it'll be nice and steady.
And I guess, I mean, I did. Somebody had Dramamine. I took it when we were on the boat, but
it was too late at that point.
I don't know if I would have needed to pop 2 pills before we left, if that would have been better.
It said on the bottle, too, like take them an hour before you actually...
I wonder if that would have helped or not.
Maybe put a tampon in beforehand.
And I'm not going to try next time again. I'm not going to try again because you're stuck on the boat for 7 hours.
I wonder if it has...
That, to me, is the shitty part there.
That's the worst.
Yeah,
I felt bad.
Sucks.
He was a prisoner on that boat, and we couldn't get him off for... And it happened right away.
It would happen 2 hours before it was when we got into the open water.
Yeah.
It was like 2 hours before the show. I'm like, well, maybe I'll calm down. And I just couldn't even stand up.
He just sat there the whole time. Yeah.
And I was just like, So
damn. Sorry, man.
That's what I got.
Yeah, it wasn't a fun trip. And unfortunately, we couldn't really review these because
so we have to do something else.
Yeah.
I'll have to do something else.
I
when
might
I get back
be able to
LA.
turn that into like a mini vlog of some
I think
sort.
we should turn it into a vlog.
I think people are going to probably want to see that.
I think we can probably do that. Although once Jared really started getting sick, I just like stopped filming.
But I can do voiceovers of it. We can, if we need voiceover.
Yeah, I mean,
today we set out to do a real world review, and here is the footage of the greatest real world review ever.
50 Shades of Green. Man. Phone call.
Well, hello there, you little pussy man. I wanted to see how your little vagina was. Maybe next time don't take the Dramamine, maybe take a Tampax Plus. Maybe that'll help you through your day, little pussy girl. All right, goodbye, you.
Thanks, Meredith.
Oh, Meredith.
And that's why we have 2 female followers.
Manliest man I know. I do think drinking your protein shake right when we're about to go off.
I don't think that.
I feel like that really affected you, but
I have that.
I mean, that could have been sloshing around your stomach.
I feel like that's the worst thing.
I don't know, but I like the guy's like food
because I ate and that helped me a lot, and then just getting up and like finally getting used to it really helped. By the end, I was pretty good.
I just wonder if I didn't go into that room to get the cameras, if it wouldn't have affected me.
So Jared went in this closed off room where you can't see outside at all, and that really messes with you because you're just like rocking back and forth.
Maybe your eyes focus differently, and then all of a sudden you're just like, whoa. And then
exactly.
Sometimes when you go down that road, it's like starting to feel nauseous when you're drunk. Like once it
kind
starts
of
to
spins.
hit, you're kind of like,
I don't know.
I can't come back from that.
So did you, by the way, last night when you went to sleep, like did you feel like you were still on the boat? Because when I went to bed, I felt like I was almost getting like the drunk spins, and I was like, whoa,
really?
Yeah, like I felt like I need to readjust or something.
No, I was good. As soon as I got off the boat, I drove home. So
yeah. But fun day.
Anyway, a couple other things. We got Gears of the Week and some other stuff to show. How about Morgan being a YouTube star?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, hold on.
Gonna surpass Frono's photo soon.
She's doing all right.
Dada, let's make some YouTube videos.
Best director ever.
So what video did she make that people liked?
What's in my backpack?
What's in my
What's that got, like 20,000 views, right?
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
Dude, the kids love searching that stuff. That must be a huge search for
they just like to know what other kids are doing.
Yeah.
The comments are so good.
I was thinking about it the other day when I saw that video. So instead of kids finding out what people are bringing and wearing and that kind of stuff in school, it's almost like they're just searching YouTube and seeing what's like hot on the streets.
Yeah, that's
before
they even get
when
to
the summer
school.
ends.
Yes.
Because that's the style always changes into the next school year, and you want to see what's cool.
Yeah.
So talk about what she does for the videos, like the work she does to get the video ready. Because some people are like, Todd just does everything. He shoots it, he edits it.
Oh,
and he
no,
puts it out.
I sit down with her and we'll talk, like, what do you want to do? She's like, I want to do this, what's in my backpack? I'm like, well, what does that look like? She'll show me one she likes.
So you just copy other people. All right, got it.
And then she makes a list of what she wants to talk about, like just bullet points. So she's way better than Jared already.
Way better
she
pre-production.
has bullet points already, and then she'll send me those. And then she'll usually help me set up the camera and the lights because she wants to be able to do it by herself. So we kind of do it in tandem. And then most of the time, I just sit there and hit record. Especially for something where she's just sitting on her bed looking through her backpack, and then we'll
dual pixel.
Then
AF
we'll do
on that?
close-ups. Oh yeah.
I saw one of your latest videos though. The what she does, her weekend routine or whatever. That looked like it was like a day in the life thing. That had to take you a while.
That
to
was like
shoot
2
and edit
days,
and
like 2 afternoons.
2 days to shoot.
Yeah, because
And then another day or two
It's
to
one of
edit.
those things that we're just like, I'm tired of doing this.
Yeah,
let's do it later. And
that's a
it was
lot.
multiple locations in the house.
That's what I saw. Yeah, it was a lot of B-roll.
Yeah, and then
It's not like it just takes you a couple hours.
No,
to put
that
these
was
things
two.
together.
That was 2 solid afternoons, and then it took a day or so to edit. And it is what it is. But she told her mother the other day. Her mother called her, and she's like, "Did you do your summer math work?" She's like, "Well, no, because Daddy and I have a production meeting." That we had to have, so we're gonna do that, and then I'm gonna shoot. I gotta do my hair for my shoot. So yeah, we had a production meeting. She's taking notes on her computer, and
She's definitely got the best looking videos out of any other 12-year-old
well, you know
on
what I
YouTube
told her?
right
I was
now.
like, look, it's an opportunity for you. Obviously, I know how to do a couple things, but she knows what she wants, and she's good on camera. So I was like, have at it. And then she's like, I'm gonna buy a BMW at some point. I was like, let's slow your roll. You got about $50 right now in that account.
Yeah, your AdSense.
I was like, and your AdSense is about maybe $71 right now. It doesn't really go too far for a BMW. So.
Bless you.
Yeah. But she's excited about it,
That's
it's
good.
It's one of those things, I don't know what we were doing at 12. Probably, I used to draw comic books, but
You drew lots of dicks.
I pretty
guy
much,
from
it
Superbad.
was an inspiration for Superbad. I would draw lots of, I actually, oh God, I hope she doesn't listen to this. I actually got in trouble in like about 4th grade. I just would draw like raging porno orgies like on paper,
Really?
and I would give them to like kids would like buy them off me, and I'd be like, yeah, because I could draw.
Wait, would you sign it like Todd Wolf?
No, but I just, oh, dude, I remember the teacher was like, somehow he found it, and he was like,
What is?
what do you want to talk about
It's
this?
literally like the
And
Superbad
on top of
story.
it, he's friends with my dad. So this teacher
Woody.
was friends with my dad.
Woody.
So it
Wait,
was
I'm
the
the
most
teacher.
horrific thing in the world.
What is this that your son did? He's drawing dicks. Did
I
you
don't know
teach
where
him
he
this?
saw one that big. He ain't never see that at home. No. End of the day, though, so he holds on to it and then just keeps me
course he
terrified.
held on to it.
Keeps me. He probably made copies of it at the copy room and just passed it out. No, so he kept it for like a week, a school week, like 5 days. So Monday maybe found it, and like Friday, I don't hear anything from my parents. I'm like, like you don't know when the ball when the shoe's gonna drop.
Yep.
He just eventually just gives it back to me. He's like, get rid of this. He's like, don't do that anymore.
Wow.
And so I get home. I have it on the bus. I'm like, oh my God, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. I get home. I get off the bus stop. I rip it up in a million pieces. I put it where do you always put things you want to hide?
in the sewer.
In the sewer. So I drop it in the sewer. I'm like, thank God. And I should have saved it. It was a work of art. But yeah.
Did you have a whole
That was
lunchbox
the end
of
of my
goodies?
orgy pictures.
Well, that reminds me
That
of-
was my big money-making scheme at 12 years old.
All right, you know what I did in junior high school? So my dad always had the Playboys, right?
Yeah.
They came every month.
Yes.
And so my locker mate, Jesse Pincus.
Jesse Pincus.
Oh, Jesse Pincus. I went to college with him.
Yeah,
Used to drink in college.
you drank in high school with him.
I don't know. I had all these Playboys. So I got he wanted like Pamela Anderson and somebody else. So I'm like, they're going to be $15 each.
What?
I put them in a manila envelope.
How much
I
were
put-
they normally? Like
$4,
Yeah.
something like that. I put it in an envelope, a manila envelope,
Nice upcharge.
and we shared a locker, right? So as I'm pulling this manila envelope out, the principal's walking by, and but it's in a manila envelope. He'll never
So
know
you
what it
can't
is.
see, but were you guys shitting your pants?
Well, no, he wasn't there. I was just going to leave it in the bottom of the locker because he was going to come get it. And I'm just like, hi, I'm not doing anything weird with 2 Playboys. And he gave me $31 bills. His lunch money.
That was his lunch money
For a
for a
week.
month. But you know what? Those Yanks are worth a lifetime. They live for a lifetime.
Yanks.
So I was a little entrepreneur. I was making money.
So
your
your
dad ever
crunchy.
find
So
out
his
that you were
mom's
selling
like,
his
"Why
Playboys?"
are your sheets so crunchy?" What was his
matter.
name?
Jesse.
Jesse. Why are your sheets so crunchy? Am I using too much starch in your sheet?
Mom, I'm going to bed.
Mom, I'm going to bed, but it's 3:30 in the afternoon.
I'm taking a nap.
I'm combing my hair.
It'll be a 30-second nap.
Shut up, Sawyer.
Oh, you took a big bite there, Sawyer.
Hashtag you, Sawyer.
Whoa!
Hey, whoa! Too soon. All right, gears of the week, right? I've got a couple of gears of the week.
God, we still have gear of the
that
week.
came in the mail, and then we're going to wrap it up.
What is this?
Is the moment lens.
Oh, this is what you wish you had, right, for the Eclipse?
No, because actually they don't have telephoto. They just have
just
wide
fisheye?
angle.
Look at the size of that.
They got fisheye. This is the fisheye.
Look at
crap.
that.
And so what you have to use is you
the
have to
case.
use their case, which I hate the case.
You hate everything.
Let me
so.
just show you.
Doesn't look that bad.
No, but this is what you do.
I mean, it makes sense to mount it.
Yeah.
Careful.
You go like that, and now you have the fisheye.
Oh, look at that.
But the case sucks, in my opinion. I don't like cases. That's just me. I
case
personally
isn't
don't use
terrible.
cases. So you've got a wide angle.
It's
Feels
functional.
like loose, though.
Oh, this is the super
Look at the
fisheye.
little bag. Look at the little bag.
So that's the fisheye.
It's like a little mini Canon bag for your lenses.
to be honest with you,
awesome.
I liked using it for doing quick videos of showing
I
stuff.
saw your focal length, how it changed to the fisheye,
Yeah,
and it actually
it's
gives you a lot.
Well, that was with the wide angle.
That's nice, yeah.
So
That's
it was
pretty
actually
cool.
pretty cool.
Because I do think video on the iPhone is a little too cropped in.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and so for the selfies, it was really perfect.
Oh, my God.
So that's one thing that came in the mail. The first time they sent it, it didn't get to me. All that got to me was a label, this label that you can't show, on the front of the box with a letter thanking me, saying that they sent me the moment, and it was in a USPS envelope because it got lost. No, somebody stole it, basically. And all they sent me was the label.
So do they sell telephoto lenses as well?
That I don't know. I have to check it out.
Huh. How much
Interesting.
is that?
I don't know. I have to check it out.
Do you know anything?
No, I don't.
Great research.
Good segment.
That's one thing. And then the other thing is this company Elgato Camlink. They asked me if I wanted this USB thing to HDMI that says that it turns any DSLR or anything with an HDMI, any camera with an HDMI, into a webcam. Now, they should say that it turns it into a live streaming camera because it's much better quality than any shitty webcam used to be.
So like our screen flows for the outros, say for the real world review, you could put like a DSLR there and use
I
that
could
as
put
like
a
your
DSLR
picture
back
in picture.
there and have that going in and use that as the picture
That's
in
cool.
picture.
Huh.
And it pulls it in
Look
at
way better
1080
than
at
that
up to
shitty
60 frames a
webcam.
second.
Yeah, that's nice.
So that is an option we could do over there.
Yeah.
And then this thing is a stream deck. It's
like a switcher?
You look at it. Yeah, it's a switcher. You can pre-program stuff that you want on it.
Ah.
You'll play with that. Like you could program that in Lightroom if you really wanted, but you could have it launch different apps. You could also use it to switch cameras if you wanted to use that with a live switcher.
No kidding.
So that's Elgato. And then the last thing, gear of the week, I got these things.
As you take your shoe off your own foot.
This is they're a company called Allbirds. I
You
got
give
an
it a sniff
email.
test?
It smells like fucking rotten eggs.
Yep.
Smells like self-hate.
Actually, no, it's these are wool shoes, all wool. So I bought these because I thought they were
Smart move for
I'll
the
try
summer.
them.
Yeah.
Shut up, Todd.
Great
I
idea.
like them in this, and I ordered a pair for my dad that he should be getting the next day, and he'll be
Thank
like,
you.
Here, what will my dad say when he randomly gets a pair of shoes in the mail that he didn't order?
Why did I get these shoes?
I thought I ordered apples.
I've already got plenty of shoes. You know, I used to sell shoes and members only jackets. I have 14 in my closet still.
He didn't
Thank
sell.
you.
He didn't sell shoes, but he did do members only.
Do you need any light bulbs?
All right, that's Gears of the Week. We've got another real world review in the can, the D7500. We have another real world review not in the can, these lenses.
The vomit rocket.
Got a lot of stuff we're still working on, traveling.
And a photo story project that
And
should
the
be
photo
out
story
soon.
project, which is
Yep.
done. I got to release that. That's going to make people cry.
Check out the Nikon 8 to 15 millimeter real world review.
Yeah.
That one was pretty cool too.
Dan, did you write down any hashtags today now that you've been sitting here? No. No, Dan. No. Hashtag Sawyer Eclipse. Hashtag Sawyer's annoying sister. Hashtag Sawyer takes a bite out of the sun. Hashtag sick on a boat.
Yeah,
Sick on a boat.
yeah. That's a good one.
Hashtag tampon in a boat. No.
Yep.
Anything else, Todd, you want to add?
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Anything else, Frank?
Frank?
Does the wheel show up fully in one angle?
No. You'd have to move it.
I have to move it. Does it show up in that camera?
I mean, far.
From a distance. I'm going to spin it as we get out of here, and then somebody leave a comment. You may win something, and I'll pick somebody randomly.
Uh-oh.
We'll see where it has to end. And I'm going to do a sign-off. I didn't even spin it that hard. I must be just so strong that it keeps spinning. What's that, atmosphere aerosol?
No, that's gaffer power, I believe.
Oh, gaffer power! Congratulations goes to somebody in the comment section within the first day or two. We'll pick somebody. That's it. That's episode number 227. That song reminds me of somebody dancing. That's it. Jared, Polin, FroKnowsPhoto.com. See ya.